Hey guys, it's Dave here with ImproveBackpacking.com. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about taking your first backpacking trip. And I know that years ago when I took my first backpacking trip, I was very excited about it. I decided that I would head onto the Colorado Trail. I was living in Colorado at the time, so I spent about a week planning for this. And then a friend of mine drove me out to the wilderness. Um, it was October. I do not advise hiking deep into the wilderness in October in Colorado because there's a lot of hunters out. So pay attention to that. But I did so anyhow. Didn't know any better, and spent 4 days on the trail. 5 days overall out in the section of the Colorado Trail. So what I did in order to get equipment is I borrowed most of it. I had a backpack, but I borrowed a camp stove, which I didn't know how to use. I borrowed all sorts of other stuff, and then I piled my backpack with a ton of non-essentials. So with that said, I wouldn't advise that route either. So if you are new to backpacking, then the the short answer to the question, should I rent gear, is yes. Renting backpacking gear is a great idea for the beginner, especially if you're planning on, say, a 2 to 3 or even a 3 to 5 day trip as your first backpacking trip. I suggest that you find somebody that is experienced so that you don't have to learn everything, and they can teach you along the way. But renting backpacking gear is a good idea for a number of reasons. One, it's really expensive to buy all the equipment that you need for your first trip. The other thing is you don't really know how to use all the equipment, so there's a learning curve to that. So if you rent it, then you can practice practice with the equipment, get to know how to use it. And of the 11 backpacking gear companies that I reviewed recently in one of our blog posts, I found that there are a number of companies that provide the essentials, which are, in my opinion, would be a tent, a backpack, sleeping bag, sleeping pad, and some sort of camp stove or camp cooking equipment. So those are the essentials. A number of the companies pretty much provide that as a basis, but they also provide other things like headlamps, hiking sticks, and then some of them provide tarps, etc. So if you want to see that, we do have that review. It's 11 backpacking gear rental companies that we reviewed. So basically, once you get the essentials, you need to plan the trip. You need to be as safe as possible, and for me, safety includes having the right equipment, which you're going to rent, which we advise that you rent for your first trip. Being safe as far as understanding the weather, understanding the terrain that you're getting into. There's a number of reputable sites that provide information on weather. I'm writing a post on lightning storms and thunderstorms as far as how to stay safe and how to stay protected. So those are some good resources that you can look into. The other thing that we look at is, like I said, is the price. Renting or purchasing backpacking gear can cost thousands of dollars. I know you're not going to go out and you're not going to go to the store and spend $2,000 or $3,000 on your first trip, not knowing if you're going to continue after this trip. However, looking into a rental company, it'll cost you maybe $100 to $200 to rent the same equipment in great shape, and they ship it to you. So the shipping some of the rental companies included in shipping, like the company Big Sky at BigSkyRent.com. They're friends of mine, and they do a really great job at providing the essential equipment plus, and they also include in shipping the shipping in your fee. Some of them don't. Some of them will do that as an add-on, which you can weigh the pros and cons with that. So you have to really look at it apples to apples. Again, our 11 gear rental review post would help with that as well. A couple of the reasons why you shouldn't rent backpacking gear would be you don't like the colors or the how the equipment looks. Some gear comes in only a few different options, but so some people will think that that's not a good idea. The other thing is you can always borrow stuff from friends, but I would advise when you borrow things from friends that that they help you with proper fit and teach you how to put up the tent, or what pressure you need to put for your sleeping bag pad, which it's an air pad, and you have to find out kind of how that one feels and how that works. The gear renting companies will explain a number of things. They'll be there to answer your questions. They'll be there to help guide you in your first backpacking trip. So basically, that is it when it comes to there's a lot more that we cover in our blog post. It's called "Excited About My Backpacking Trip. Should I Rent Gear?" I'll have a link down below in the description for that if you want to check that out. Other than that, give us a thumbs up by bashing the like button down below. Subscribe to our channel, and if you want notifications, ring that notification bell. The other thing is to check out our website at improvebackpacking.com. Again, I'll have a link below. And the final thing that I always tell people is be kind, whether it's in word or in action. We're all in this together. Thanks, and have a great day.